Hey, I'm Dave Coach and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to talk about self-promotion and how to promote yourself as a photographer. Probably nothing causes more consternation among photographers than self-promotion. There's the desire to say, oh, you're doing it wrong, or, you're not smart enough or whatever. And there's a lot of competition among photographers, and probably nothing brings it out more than self-promotion. There are some good things to do. There are some bad things to do. There is no doubt there is a need to do it. You are your own best mouthpiece. You are the best person to talk about what makes you a great photographer. But like I said, there are things to do and there are lines that we should not cross. And the purpose of this video is to try and hopefully help you, guide you, help you find the ways to do it the right way and keep you from doing things the wrong way. One of the first rules, and probably the one you don't want to break the most, is there's no such thing as work for exposure. Anybody who says, oh, you'll get great exposure if you do this shoot, they're lying to you. They're asking you to bend over, and you know where they're shoving it. Exposure doesn't do you any good. When somebody comes to you and they want you to do it for exposure, it's because they're getting value out of it and they're trying to talk you into it. There's no way in hell I'm going to do a work for exposure sort of thing. There are exceptions to this, but they're not work for exposure. What's it called? TFP, trade for print, trade for photography. That's something different. You're both getting something out of it. Generally, a TFP, yeah, is something that you do when you're starting out, and say a model will provide her or his time to you while you provide photography for them. You're both getting something out of it. Neither one of you is doing it for exposure. You're doing it, you for experience, them for prints. And that's totally different than a realtor coming up to you and saying, hey, shoot my apartment building. I advertise my apartments all over the US. You'll get so much exposure. Yeah, see, do you see the difference there? That's an important distinction to make. Don't do the work for exposure. Do it when you get something of value in return. TFP is just one example. That's kind of, I guess, under the idea of collaborations. If there's somebody that you want to work with, if, again, you're getting something out of that. Another reason to do a free shoot is when you're networking. I've done a lot of shoots where 5 photographers will go out with 5 models, and you'll go to a really cool location, and each photographer has an hour with each model, and not only are you doing TFP, but you're networking. There are a lot of photographers that I met during that time that I'm still in contact with, that we're still helping each other out. So if you're getting networking out of it, that's a positive. Another reason to do something like that is if you're building your portfolio. Again, I want you to be careful and not cross that line into working for exposure. But if you're building your portfolio, you shouldn't be working for free either. You should be, doing all you can, throwing in something extra for that photography job or something like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, if you book right now, I'll throw in the aerials or the drone. That to me is not working for free. You're still being paid for your time. You're value adding to that proposition, and that's a positive. But again, when somebody gets to well, you can use this for your portfolio, it's the same as work for exposure. It doesn't work. You need to be getting something back for the deal to work. There recently was a post on Facebook about somebody who was doing a whole photo job for free. And I took him to task for it, not only because he was cutting his own throat to do it, but it lessens the value of photography to all the other photographers around you. I'm going to make a generality here, and maybe that's not fair, but typically I have found the people that will want you to work for free are not the clients you want. They're looking for a deal. They're not interested in quality. They're interested in their bottom line, and they're interested in themselves only. They don't care about you. They don't care about anything else. So yeah, you're going to get a job out of it, but can you pay the rent with that? No, you can't. The other thing is, as soon as you start charging, they're going to look for the next photographer who does it for free or does it for less than you. Again, it's a generality, but the sort of people that you attract when you're doing something for free are bottom feeders. And they're really not the sort of people that you want or need as clients. Finally, I'd say that it affects the photographers around you because it devalues the work. If I'm trying to sell myself at $50, $100, $200 a picture, and you're doing it for free, people are going to say, what's the difference? I've said in other videos that years ago I ran an art gallery and I sold animation art cells, the paintings that cartoons are made from. And it was a really cool business. I got to know a lot of people at Disney and Warner Brothers. And one of the people I knew, her name was Sandra Tome, and she was from Iowa, from Cedar Rapids. And she represented Bill Melendez Galleries, or Bill Melendez Productions. Bill Melendez is the guy who made all the Charlie Brown, Snoopy cartoons. You may not remember Peanuts. It's kind of old-fashioned, but it was a thing for a while. One of the things she taught me was that you don't sell the picture, you sell the value of the picture. And what she meant by that was you're essentially selling $1.25 worth of plastic with 50 cents worth of paint on it. So, a $2 object is the actual cost of that object, but the value of that object is immense. If you have Snoopy on the back of his doghouse with Woodstock, the feelings that conjures up are worth far more than the $1.25, $1.50, $1.75 worth of paint and plastic that makes up that image. And it's the same with our photography. We're not selling that it took me 2 minutes to make that picture and 5 minutes to edit it. What we're selling is the quality of those images, the feelings that we evoke, and the attraction that our pictures create because we shoot quality pictures. Our pictures have value beyond the actual picture itself, and that they're able to attract people to look and pay attention to what we're selling. When you get down to the actual selling it as the cost of the components of it, you're losing sight of the added value of what photography brings. Don't undercut yourself by not including in your cost or what you sell your images for, the value that you create for both the customer and the client. A third thing to keep in mind when you're pricing is, and this is a little silly, but this is true. You add value to your photography by charging more, not less. If you're a high-end photographer and you're charging $100 for a shoot, people aren't going to take you seriously as a luxury photographer. You have to charge the market rate for the work that you're doing. Otherwise, people are going to say, what's wrong here? Guitars are a good example. A good Les Paul. Les Pauls will sell for $1,800 to, $3,500. Custom shops over $5,000. If somebody came to me selling me a custom shop Les Paul for $1,500, I'd say, what's wrong with it? It's the same with photography. You can't sell a premium item at hamburger prices. So again, set your price at the market level and what makes sense for what you're providing. So how do you handle discounts? I think, first off, again, getting back to the art dealer thing, Sandy told me you discount the art, you devalue the art. And I think that's true in photography. You discount your work, you devalue your work. And there's no way to earn that value back. Once somebody has seen you discount your work is always worth that lesser amount. There's no way to come back from that. Instead, the best way to do something like that is to value add. You know what? I'm not going to give you a discount on my photography, but I'll add in a drone or I'll add in a marketing kit. Add in something of value, add in a floor plan, something like that. And you can say, you know, you've been such a good customer, let me do this extra bit for you. Don't devalue what you do, add value to what you're providing the customer. Sandy used to tell me, you know, with the artwork, the price is the price. You never discount the price. Discount the frame. Frame is a commodity. You know, there's value to that. There's, you know, a certain cost in the wood and putting it together. And you can discount that. But something that's ethereal, like the value of a piece of art or what we add to a picture, you cannot discount without devaluing yourself. There are occasions, probably with property management people, where, hey, I'm going to shoot you 5 to 10 properties a month to shoot. What kind of discount can I get? You may or may not consider this. And I think the best way to do this is make it contingent upon 5 to 10 per month. And don't allow the discount to come in until they hit that 5 minimum. And that way you're making sure that they're giving you what they promised, and then that has value to you and you can discount the rest or give them a cut on the price. I would not call it a discount. I would, you know, call it a group, a package deal or something like that. Don't use the word discount, because again, that's where the devaluation comes in, you know. And make sure you're getting the value in what you were told that you were going to get. If they promise you 5 and they're only bringing you 3 jobs a month, that's not worth the discount. So you shouldn't give it to them. Make sure that only cuts in once they hit the minimum that you've agreed upon. Another thing that happens, and I have to admit, this has happened to me more than once when I was beginning. People ask for free things. Oh, you're already here. Why don't you do this? And the one I specifically remember is, you're already here. Why don't you shoot my headshot? We're all either have gotten that or we're going to get that. And it's hard to say no. And you're probably not going to be able to say no until it's happened to you once or twice. I know for me, I'm not good at thinking on my feet. I'm not good at thinking how to deal with confrontational situations like that. It's only afterwards where I think, oh, I should have said blah, 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 blah. And once you've had that happen to you and you've thought about it, then you know, oh, I should have said blah, 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 blah. So what I would say, the easiest way to get through something like that is, oh, I was here to shoot the house. I don't have the gear to shoot a headshot. This isn't the right lens for a headshot. This is for shooting houses. It's too wide, it'll make you look fat. That'll work. Trust me. Nobody wants to look fat. But you know, be ready to say no. When somebody wants to add something in, say, okay, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. This is how much more it's going to be. Always keep in mind, this is a business. If somebody's asking for something, they need to pay for it. I'm going to go way off topic here, and I'm going to be preaching, but you know, these realtors and brokerages now that are coming to people and saying, oh, by the way, sign this piece of paper which gives your rights for the photographs over to us. That's fine to do, but make sure you're paid for it. That's the same as a realtor coming up and saying, hey, you're already here, shoot my headshot for free. No, that's 125, 150 bucks. If you want me to sign a paper signing over my rights to my images to you, that's fine. But all of a sudden, this has gone from a $250 job to a $2,000 job because that's how much it costs to buy the rights to my pictures. Don't give up your rights for free. If somebody's asking for the rights to your pictures, if somebody's demanding that you sign a piece of paper that gives up your rights, if you want to, do it. But just know that there's a cost involved in that and you need to charge for that. A great example is you can't go into McDonald's and buy a Big Mac and halfway through it and say, oh, and give me fries for free. When you add something to that, you need to pay for it. It's the same with the rights to photography. Well, we've covered a lot here, and I know I've given a lot of personal opinions, and I do feel strongly about this, obviously. It's something I've thought through a lot, and it's something that you need to think through a lot and figure out where you come down on it. Just because I've said it does not make it right, but it is what's right for me. And you need to find out what's right for you. This is a business, and first and foremost, you need to treat it like a business. You need to not fall victim to people trying to take advantage of you. And they're out there, they're everywhere, and they will try and take advantage of you, either with free images, with headshots, whatever. Don't let it happen. Stand firm. And if you lose a job or two, they're probably not the customer that you want. People that are asking for free things and want you to give up things for free are trying to take advantage of you. Are those your customers? Or do you want customers who feel happy in an equal deal? Those are the kind of customers I want. And so that's why I don't put up with requests for free things or for discounts or anything like that. You need to judge that for your own business. And I hope you give it a lot of thought. Ask your friends, ask other people, ask other photographers, ask on forums. Get as much information as you can and make an educated decision. That's the best way to succeed. Thank you very much for listening to my rant, and I hope your next shoot is your best shoot.